Hello everyone, welcome back to Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, the podcast that talks all about all things anime, all things manga, anything that you're kind of thinking Japan related, it's about anime, it's about manga, I'm going to be talking about it on this podcast, so be sure to subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode. So I'm your host Ryan and I'm a massive anime and manga fan, and I have been for many years, since the 90s, since I was a kid. And that fad has never truly ended. So a few things before we dive into today's episode. Down in the episode show notes you'll find links to my Etsy shop where you can find a bunch of anime themed goodies for you to shop and enjoy. So there's pin badges, there's stationery, there's keyrings and more. Whether you're a One Piece fan, a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, a Pokemon fan, a Mario fan or anything else, you'll find a goodie on the shop for you to check out. There's something for every anime and manga fan over there. The link is down in the footer in the show notes, so be sure to check out my Etsy shop, Chibiweeb Merch on Etsy. If you're a gamer, much like me, then why not check out Razer? You can find a bunch of accessories from mouses, keyboards, headsets, mouse mats and more, to the bigger stuff like gaming laptops and desktops. Over on Razer website, link down below, you can shop a whole host of gaming accessories, from the Chroma range, which is all colourful, which is my favourite stuff, to more sleek black stuff, including even their own merchandise, clothing, bags and accessories. There's something for everyone. The link is down below for you to check out and shop. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Chibi and Chill, the anime podcast, and this time of year is filled with all of the roundups, right? So I'm sure you've all seen, if not already done them, your Apple Music roundup, your Spotify roundup, I think there's an Audible roundup now. There's even like mindful ones, so there's like balance roundup, all those kind of things. There's so many roundups nowadays, and I thought, why not? Why not do a kind of episode where I can round up the anime that I've watched this year, but not only the anime that I've kind of watched, but the anime that I think I enjoyed the most. And it's kind of hard because there isn't actually a Crunchyroll roundup. I'm sure someone at Crunchyroll must have heard that somewhere through the ether or in the surveillance or through me. I've got it open right now. They probably heard it through the website. There will be a Crunchyroll roundup coming soon. I don't know why that isn't a thing already. There probably should be. Actually, to be fair, if I'm honest, I would love a Crunchyroll anime roundup, because I'd prefer that over a Spotify one, or I'd prefer that over even an Apple Music one. That would be amazing, actually. But anyway, I've manually gone through my anime watch list and kind of personally added the ones and put them in a certain order as to what I thought was my favourite over the past year. And I've got some notable mentions, and I've got some anime that I'm wanting to start over the last week of the year. So my 9 to 5 job is kind of coming up to its Christmas break. I've got 6 days left to work, and then I'm off until the 2nd of January. So I've got a little bit of time where I can kind of fully re-indulge myself after all of the working days and working nights, and re-indulge myself into the world of anime. And what a perfect way to kind of prep myself for that and kind of think about what have I enjoyed this year and what am I looking forward to and what was so-so. So let's dive into the first anime roundup. And if you listen to this podcast regularly, you will know how much of a One Piece fan I am. And don't get me wrong, I am not caught up. I am on episode 904, I believe, something like that. And I'm in the 900s. But I have to say, the grip that this anime has on me is unhealthy. At this point, it is unhealthy at this point. It's peak anime, I have to say. And yes, the animation up until Wano isn't. I mind you, Whole Cake was good. Animation doesn't stand up to some of the other anime, such as Demon Slayer, for example, and that kind of level. However, Wano animation is just glorious. So I think it redeems itself for that point. But honestly, this one has to be probably at my top spot for how I've kind of just continued with it, marathoned it, and just kind of kept going back and back and back up until where I'm in episode 900 now. I think any anime where you've made it to episode 900 and something deserves to be on your anime roundup, doesn't it? I mean, that is just for commitment alone, it's worth being on that list. So I have to say, I've not finished it. I'm not caught up. Well, no one's finished it technically, have they? I'm not caught up. I'm on episode 904, but it has to be on my anime roundup. I have absolutely loved it. I am loving Wano, that level of animation, the kind of story so far. Absolute peak. Amazing, amazing. But I can go on about One Piece for forever. So let's dive into the second anime. And this anime in my roundup was a newer one, and it was one I started during the spooky season in October. And I need us to have a season two, and I believe a season two is in the works for this, but it's Mirko-chan, and this one was a spooky one. It's all about a girl who sees spirits out and about, and she sees them on a regular basis, and some of them are super powerful and super scary, and some are just these cute little kind of little creatures. But it's so good. I love this one. I'm a massive kind of horror and spooky fan, so being able to indulge in that kind of side of stuff with an anime twist absolutely was amazing. This was such a good series. I think there's 24 episodes in total in season 1, and I cannot wait for season 2. It's spooky. It's there's a little bit of fan service in there, I'm not gonna lie, but it's so good. It's I don't want to give too much away, but it's kind of there's a little bit of a jump scare. There's kind of things that make you think about the world that she's in. There's a really touching moment in there as well. So it's not all just spooky spirits jumping out. It's all kind of how she perceives the world, how other people perceive what she's doing while she's trying not to react to these creatures that she's seeing. And this was truly one of my favorite anime of this entire year. The third one on this list is kind of goes down a similar vibe as Jujutsu Kaisen, and it's in the same kind of banding as Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was Hell's Paradise. This one was super hyped up. This one you couldn't go onto TikTok or Instagram or anywhere without seeing something about the hype for Hell's Paradise. And do you know what? The hype was it was valued. It was fair. This one I was hooked to. I loved the kind of weird kind of humanoid creatures that were there but could change their gender, change their shape, and kind of the nature vibe of it, but nature from a different kind of perspective. A lot of the time we see nature and it's all kind of, that kind of like Ghibli aesthetic where it's all kind of cute and nice and soft. Whereas this time in Hell's Paradise we see nature be a lot more almost aggressive, but not through its own self, but aggressive through a point of view that the antagonists were kind of could rebuild themselves from plants, or regrow certain parts of their body from plants and things like that. So really interesting. I loved the old Japan vibe of Hell's Paradise. I'm obsessed with anything in Japan, so this really went up right up my street. That sounds wrong. This was right up my street from the off from episode 1, and I cannot wait for season 2. I I cannot wait. It's honestly peak. The festive season is here, and with that is my new range of Christmas card designs over on thoughtful.co.uk. Over there, you'll find my 3 new Christmas cards for mum, boyfriend, and husband, all available to purchase right now in a bunch of new sizes, including ones filled with chocolate, champagne, flowers, and your normal standard A5 and A4 cards. You'll find a link down in the show notes to shop my 3 new Christmas cards, a Father's Day card, and a Happy Birthday card, so be sure to check out thoughtful.co.uk for your Christmas cards this year. The fourth one on this list again kind of returns to that kind of spooky vibe, but not in the same kind of way, not in the kind of same intensity as Miruko-chan or the same kind of vibe, but it was Toilet Bound Hanako-kan, and this one I fell in love with the kind of cute but still spooky kind of vibe. I love the characters and the whole styling of the anime was very kind of graphic in a way. Not graphic as in gory, but graphic as in thick lines in some areas, really decorative. It was really, really good. I thought this one really deserves season two. And finally, we are getting a season two. And there's also the after school Hanukkah series, kind of mini series that we've had on Crunchyroll recently, which are kind of like really short 10-minute episodes of really small stories. And they're kind of cute. They're a nice little teaser to kind of carry the anime through to this season two. And this one is great if you kind of want a spooky anime or a spirit themed anime without it being spooky. It was really, really good. I love that there's a background and a dark history to Hanukkah that we don't truly know yet, and I like that there's this kind of undercurrent of darkness in between the fun and silly kind of moments within the anime. This one's really, really good, and the styling and the overall aesthetic of the anime, I absolutely love. It's so intricate. It kind of reminds me of the artwork that we see from studios such as Clamp, that kind of not quite as intricate and soft, but same kind of level of detail and intricacy within the characters. It's an honestly an awesome anime for you to check out. It's so great. So the last one in my top five, I think this one I debated over a little bit. There's because it's the last spot. It was either going to be Attack on Titan, but then I don't feel I can put Attack on Titan in this list quite yet. The last episode was amazing, don't get me wrong, but because there's so many gaps between so many different parts, I feel like I need to rewatch it to truly appreciate all of it. And then there's Jujutsu Kaisen. I do love Jujutsu Kaisen, but I don't know if am enjoying it quite as much as Demon Slayer, as much as I enjoyed the Demon Slayer Swordsmith Village arc. And there's something about Demon Slayer, and it just hits different as an anime, and it's just so strong animation wise. It's so strong that it doesn't need this huge season to really tell its story. And it does make the seasons fairly short, but it's so worth it. The level of animation that goes into the Demon Slayer episodes is just inhuman. It's just so good, and I cannot rave about Swordsmith Village arc enough. So strong. I mean, I loved seeing Mitsuri in action and seeing her kind of love Hashira attacks and how she kind of moves around with the kind of flexible sword and stuff. It's so intricate and so cool, and I loved her kind of like playfulness while she's still being super strong. An awesome series, and we finally this week we got some details of the Hashira training arc that's coming very soon. It's going to be a movie, so oh my god, I cannot wait to find out more about this. But without me gushing over Demon Slayer even more, let's dive into some of the notable mentions, and then we'll move into anime that I'm wanting to watch over the last week of the year. So some notable mentions of anime that I really enjoyed, but I don't think I enjoyed enough to go into my kind of top five anime roundup. So there's three, and there's the top one. Very nearly made it into the top anime, and it was on 100. And yes, we are getting the last three episodes of the series. They're coming on the 25th of December, so they're coming on Christmas Day. And this one, I loved this series, and it was so unfortunate that it's kind of had so many delays. It really broken up the viewing experience, and now I'm kind of a little bit disjointed from the anime because there's one episode 9 or 10, and there's three left. So there's so many episodes left to finish off series one, and I do fear for this anime because I really wanted to get a season two. I wanted to carry on. It had such a good premise and such a cool story, and I really don't want it to go away. But because of all the kind of delays and kind of breaks between the episodes that weren't should have been there, then I don't think I could put it in the top five. But I absolutely loved the anime that we did get to see of this, so I had to give that an honorable mention. And there's two kind of isekai or reverse isekais that I had to put in here. I love an isekai. I love the kind of idea of escaping into another world. And so one I put on here is saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. This was a super fun kind of money making themed anime. And this was super playful, super fun. And I love the idea that she could kind of just bounce in between the worlds as she pleases and either spend the money or save the money. A very cool anime. I really want this one to get a season two. I don't really know what they do with it, but super fun. And the other one is kind of reverse. It's the devil is a part-timer. And again, I love anything kind of devilly, spooky, that kind of thing. And this one kind of took the devil vibe, but made him work at McDonald's or a McDonald's dupe. And this was so fun. It's such a playful anime. This one, I think I started it in the dub, not the sub, so it's a little bit weird, but very cool. I love this one. This one's a super fun one to just bounce into if you want a less intense anime or an anime that kind of. And this was one of those animes that I watch in between other anime, which is a little bit strange, but because it's so light-hearted and so kind of fun, it's nice to kind of have that anime in between ones like Demon Slayer or One Piece or Miracle-chan that are a little bit more intense. And then finally, let's dive into some anime that I'm really wanting to start, not next week, but the week after. And there's 3 that are on my top list for this week. So it's Kurikurio, the bed and breakfast for spirits. This one, again, it's ghouly, it's spirity, but it looks a little bit more fun, a little bit more playful. It reminds me of kind of like the bathhouse in Studio Ghibli. So I'm really wanting to dive into this one. This one feels like the perfect kind of end of year vibe anime, so cannot wait to dive into this one. There's also along the same kind of like ghouly kind of vibe. This feels like I'm extending my horror kind of spooky season list, but it's Midnight Occult Civil Servants, and this one kind of looks a little bit weird. It looks a little bit like a mystery kind of, how can I describe it? A bit of like a mystery, but they're kind of, each detective or police worker is actually kind of like a ghoul or a kind of some kind of spirit. So it looks super fun, a little bit playful, a little bit different. So I'm kind of excited to kind of dive into an anime with a slightly different kind of premise overall. So it looks a little bit, I don't entirely know the story, I don't really know, but I'm kind of happy to dive into an anime blind. I think sometimes when we dive into an anime, not really knowing much about it, we get the most from it. And then last one is the one that's super hyped at the moment, and it's The Apothecary Diaries. And this one is so hyped. So I don't know if I'll end up starting this one first, but I don't really know. I think I might have to do like eeny, meeny, miny, mo with them to kind of start them. But I cannot wait to start this one. It looks glorious from an animation point of view. So really excited. I really hope this one lives up to the hype. It's always a little bit scary when we hype up an anime so much, but I really hope this one lives up to it. From what I've seen and what I've heard, it does. So I really hope it does. So I feel like that one may be a great one to start first. Maybe, I don't know. I'm too excited by all of them. So I might have to start all of them in like one go and go from there and see which one I stick with the most or want to return to the most. But this has been my anime roundup for the past year. This isn't everything I've watched, but it'd be a pretty boring list if I literally just sat here and read off what I've watched. But these are the ones that I think I got the most from. These are the ones that I enjoyed the most, and I'm quite happy to see that they are fairly varied. I think the overall theme here, quite clearly, is a kind of spooky vibe, so that's interesting. But I love spooky things, so that's not surprising. But I'm be interested to know what your vibe is. What would be your overall vibe for your anime roundup, and have you done an anime roundup? It's super fun to check out. Look at your history and let me know on social media. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. If you're new to the podcast, thank you so much for checking this out. I really do appreciate every single listen, every follow, every download. It really does mean a lot. From one week to another, thank you so much. If you're wanting any anime merch, head over to my social media links. Find me on social media, find me on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. And you'll see a link to my eBay shop where I have a bunch of anime themed prints for you to check out with worldwide shipping. Please do leave a rating and a review on the podcast platform that you're listening on this to. It really does support the show. It only takes a few seconds and it's free. I cannot ask. If I ask one thing of you, I'd ask that. Please do leave a rating and a review. Even if it's not great, please let me know. You know, it's even a bad one. Well, bad press is always, what's the saying? Any press is good press, I guess. Oh, that rhymed. So a rating and a review would be great. It really does support the show. So thank you so much for whatever kind of review you do leave. Sometimes finding a birthday card or an occasion card can be a boring task. However, I have some anime-themed cards on my Thortful.co.uk creator profile, which is found in my links on social media. Over on Thortful, you'll find a bunch of anime-themed cards such as Studio Ghibli Happy Birthday cards and more, with my range being updated regularly. Each card is processed by thortful.co.uk, with shipping being fast, quick and efficient. You can shop my anime themed cards over on my Instagram, with my links being over on there. Just search Chibiweeb Anime and you'll find me. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for checking out the podcast. It really does mean a lot. Please do leave a rating and a review down below. It really does support the show and it's free to do. I'll see you next time. I'll see you next Friday. Have a great weekend. If you're a subscriber or if you're thinking of subscribing or starting the free trial on Apple Podcasts, I'll see you on Sunday for the next episode of the Chibi Piece exclusive Apple Podcast exclusive episode on Sunday. Thanks guys. Bye bye.